I'm Saprit Reddy. My registration number is 15691. This is my Tala lab experiment in user case lab, and the aim of the experiment is to draw a sequence diagram for the given application. And the sequence diagram basically consists of objects, actors, and lifelines, and activation, messages, self messages, recursive messages, and etc. And some associations which are to be used for joining the objects. The objects are the main objects are the instances of classes basically arranged horizontally. In some cases, they are also arranged vertically. The pictorial representation of an object is class with a name prefixed by the object name. So there may be, first we need to identify the objects in a scenario given, and all the communication in the object communication happens in the objects. And actors can be actors are those who can also communicate with the objects. In this sequence diagram, we are discussing the communication, how is going on between different objects without actors. And lifeline identifies the existence of object over time. In sequence diagram, the sequence diagram basically deals with the time. I mean, it's dependent on time. So everything in a sequence diagram happens for a particular time. The notation of a lifeline is a vertical dotted line from object to other object. Sorry, from an instance to other instance in an object. And activation model as rectangular boxes, and this is the lifetime. I mean, for this much span of time, a particular operation is going to happen in an object, and it is connected to an other activation by means of these arrow lines is called messages, and we pass messages from one activation to other activation. Some messages can be self-activated. I mean, there will be some self messages that is going to happen in one particular activation itself, and recursive messages. So it means that in an object, same occurrence of message can happen in more than one activation, and that is called recursive messages. Now we'll see the sequence diagram for cab booking application. And here the main objects can be identified as customer, cab booking app, admin, and payment. So first the customer makes a login through into the booking app. And the booking app validate the login of the customer through admin by checking with admin, and there will be a self proof here because the admin has to. And here the self validation goes on. The admin checks with the database in the cab booking system, and confirms the customer login by sending a message to the customer, like message valid user, and the customer then requests for a cab through the cab booking app through the object, and it checks for the availability with the admin. If there is the available cabs nearby to the user, then the admin displays the list of cabs that are available to the user location, nearby to the user location. Then customer chooses a cab among them through the cab booking app, and admin waits for the driver confirmation, and he confirms them, and confirms booking. And then admin generates an driver OTP to the customer to identify the customer among different bookings. And once the driver drives the customer to the destination, then once the driver has completed his trip, then and message is passed to the payment mode and payment object. And in the payment object, it chooses the payment type, such as net banking, Paytm, etc., and it accesses payment, and it generates an invoice, and the admin gets an confirmation from the bank of the customer. Then the admin generates an payment invoice for the customer along with the feedback, and there ends the sequence. So there may be many objects involved in an sequence diagram. Basically, it takes one instance of a class. So here I have, let's say the class will be like cab booking. We can go through the other classes like payment. So we can draw a separate sequence diagram for payment alone itself, and there may be many classes involving in a scenario. Based on this scenario, I have drawn this. Thank you.